Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place that wades through all the research so you don't have to.
Yep, getting you informed fast.
So if you happen to be navigating midlife, chances are pretty high you'll know exactly what we're talking about today.
We're talking menopause.
Right, but specifically, we're really zeroing in on one symptom that causes so much frustration and honestly often gets brushed off. We're talking about brain fog.
Oh, yeah. It's not just, forgetting where you put your keys for a second. It's that heavier feeling, that mental cloudiness.
Like standing in the middle of the grocery store and just blanking. The three things you absolutely needed, gone, vanished.
Or the word. It's right there on the tip of your tongue, but your brain just won't retrieve it. That feeling of being slow or just mentally off, it's incredibly common.
Yeah, and the sources we looked at really validate how real that feeling is.
Definitely.
And I think the frustration comes from feeling like maybe you're losing your sharpness, your edge. But we really want to emphasize this is physiological. It's not some kind of personal failing.
Absolutely not.
So our mission today is to try and cut through some of that fog. We're synthesizing the research quickly to pinpoint the main causes.
Understand why they lead to those cognitive issues, yeah.
And most importantly, lay out the, seven proven strategies, both lifestyle tweaks and medical options to help you get back some of that mental clarity.
And it's probably good to frame this right. Brain fog. It's the term we all use. It's very user-friendly.
Oh, right.
But it's not like a formal medical diagnosis on its own. It's more of a shorthand for this whole cluster of cognitive symptoms women often experience around this time.
And that cluster, the list of symptoms, it's striking because individually they might seem small, but together, wow, the sources kept mentioning trouble concentrating, like really struggling to focus.
Yeah, and just persistent forgetfulness, not major things necessarily, but lots of little slips.
And that noticeable slowing down. Thinking feels slower, reaction times aren't quite as quick.
And just that general pervasive feeling of being unfocused, fuzzy. Mentally, yeah, fuzzy is a good word for it.
Totally. And one really critical timing note that came up in the research, this fog, it doesn't usually wait until menopause is fully established.
No, it often kicks in during perimenopause.
Yeah.
That's when the hormones first start doing their dramatic fluctuations.
And for a lot of women, it can stick around well into postmenopause too.
Understanding that timeline is actually really helpful. It's sort of the first step in figuring out how to manage it, knowing it's part of this whole transition.
Okay, so let's unpack the science a bit. We need to understand the main trigger here, the big hormonal shift driving this.
Right. If you strip away all the contributing factors for a second, the primary driver, the main cause, is that significant drop in estrogen levels.
Which most people think of just for, reproductive stuff.
Exactly.
Right.
But what's fascinating and often gets missed is how critical estrogen is for the brain itself. It's like a neuroprotector, a brain supporter.
So how does that work? The sources mentioned three key functions.
Yeah, three major brain functions that just become less efficient when estrogen levels decline.
Okay, what's the first one?
First, and this is really fundamental, estrogen helps regulate blood flow to the brain.
Ah, okay. Like delivering the fuel.
Precisely. Think of blood flow as carrying all the essential oxygen and nutrients the brain needs to think clearly, quickly. If that regulation falters, your brain's kind of running on low-grade fuel.
Running on low octane. Got it. Okay, what's number two?
Number two, estrogen actively supports the growth and repair of brain cells, especially in areas crucial for memory and learning, like the hippocampus.
So it helps maintain the actual structure, the hardware.
Exactly. It's vital for keeping that cognitive infrastructure in good working order. When that repair process slows down because estrogen is lower, the whole system starts to lag. Performance drops.
Okay, structure and fuel delivery. And the third function, you said this one might be the most direct link to the fog feeling.
Yeah, this one feels very direct. Estrogen affects how neurotransmitters actually function.
The chemical messengers.
The messengers, exactly. They allow brain cells to talk to each other. Estrogen influences how effectively they fire and communicate.
So if the neurotransmitters are the wires carrying the signals,
estrogen is kind of like the quality control for those signals, ensuring they're strong and clear. When estrogen declines, that communication can become less reliable, slower, maybe a bit staticky.
Ah, okay. So that explains that feeling of struggling to find a word, or why processing things just feels slower. It's literally inefficient signaling.
Pretty much. The brain's trying to do its job, but the resources and the communication lines aren't as good as they were.
So, okay, we have this clear hormonal trigger, the estrogen drop. But what really struck me in the sources was this idea of a menopause multiplier.
Oh yeah, the other symptoms sort of pile on, right?
Exactly. They take maybe a mild fog and turn it into something much more debilitating.
And the most obvious multiplier has got to be sleep disruption.
Right. Hot flashes, night sweats.
Yeah.
Notorious sleep thieves.
Totally. When you're not getting that deep, restorative sleep consistently, your brain doesn't get the chance to do its nightly housekeeping. It can't consolidate memories properly, can't flesh out metabolic waste effectively.
You just can't fix a cognitive issue if you're constantly exhausted. The link is so direct in the research. Poor sleep equals fatigue, which equals terrible concentration and decision-making the next day. It's a cycle.
A vicious cycle. And then you add in the mental load factor.
Mood swings, the anxiety.
Yeah, the emotional stress, those are also related to the hormonal shifts, but they create this cognitive drag. Your brain is spending so much energy just managing emotional ups and downs.
That there's less bandwidth left for thinking, remembering, focusing.
Exactly. Stress burns through your cognitive fuel like nobody's business.
Okay, now this next point seemed really crucial, something requiring maybe immediate attention if the fog feels severe.
Yes, this is important. Brain fog is common in midlife, yes, but, and this is a big boom, but it is not always just menopause.
The sources were really strong on looking for these non-hormonal overlaps.
Which raises a really vital question for you and your doctor. If the fog feels significant, or if it came on suddenly, you really need to rule out other potential underlying health conditions.
What kind of things did they mention?
Specifically things like thyroid disorders. Your thyroid controls metabolism and energy levels, so if it's underactive, that can absolutely cause fog-like symptoms.
Okay, thyroid. What else?
Anemia. Low iron means less oxygen getting delivered around the body, including to the brain. That can definitely impact cognitive function. These conditions can mimic or worsen menopausal brain fog.
And then there were the simpler checks too, right? Like vitamin levels.
Yes. Vitamin B12 deficiency, for example, that came up repeatedly in the research. It's known to contribute to cognitive issues, and it's often easily fixable.
Good point. And one more thing before jumping to hormones.
Check your medications. So many common meds prescribed in midlife for blood pressure, cholesterol, even sleep aids can have side effects that include, you guessed it, brain fog.
So you really have to look at the whole picture. Identify all the contributing factors to find the right solution or solutions.
Absolutely key.
Okay, that feels like a good pivot point then. We've got the hormonal cause, the multiplier effect from sleep and stress, and the need to rule out other stuff. So if we can't just instantly turn the estrogen tap back on, where do we start fighting back?
Right. Let's get into the toolkit, the practical stuff. The sources laid out 7 pretty powerful strategies for finding clarity.
And number 1 seems obvious, given what we just discussed.
That has to be. Mastering sleep quality. Since lousy sleep is probably the biggest multiplier, tackling that is paramount.
And we're not just talking about feeling rested.
No, it's deeper. Remember how estrogen supports brain cell repair? Well, the brain does a lot of that crucial repair work during sleep. Better sleep literally helps shore up the systems that estrogen decline is weakening.
So practical tips. Fighting those night sweats and disruptions requires some discipline, right?
Yeah, good sleep hygiene. The recommendations are pretty standard, but effective. A consistent sleep schedule is huge, even on weekends.
Keep the bedroom cool, dark, quiet.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And crucially, create that buffer zone before bed. Avoid stimulants like caffeine, alcohol, wind down.
A calming routine, like reading, maybe some light stretching or meditation,
Yep.
signal to the brain. Okay, time to switch gears, time to repair.
Exactly. Okay, strategy number 2, exercise and brain flow.
Get 'em moving. How does that help specifically with the fog?
Well, remember how estrogen affects blood flow to the brain. Exercise is a fantastic way to boost that blood flow directly. More blood flow means more oxygen, more nutrients, better brain fuel.
Okay, immediate fuel delivery. Anything else?
Yes, exercise also helps reduce chronic inflammation throughout the body, and inflammation is bad news for brain health. Plus, it's a great stress buster. It lowers cortisol, that stress hormone that really messes with memory.
So it supports the brain structure long-term and helps manage the stress multiplier.
You got it. And the goal isn't crazy intense workouts. The sources suggest aiming for about 30 minutes of moderate activity. Think brisk walking, swimming, yoga most days of the week.
Like 5 days a week?
Around that, yeah. Consistency is really the name of the game here, more than intensity.
Okay, sleep, exercise, strategy 3.
Dietary support. And the research was quite specific here, pointing strongly towards the Mediterranean diet.
Which isn't just a fad, right? There's solid evidence behind it for brain health.
Loads of evidence. It's well proven for supporting heart health, which is closely linked to brain health, and studies suggest it can actively improve memory performance.
What makes it so good for the brain?
It's the components. It's rich in things like anti-inflammatory omega-3s from fish, powerful antioxidants from all those fruits and vegetables, healthy fats from olive oil, and steady energy from whole grains.
So it gives the brain stable fuel and protective compounds to help it cope better with those hormonal ups and downs.
That's the idea. Better fuel, better protection.
Makes sense. Okay, strategy 4 tackles that multiplier head on. Stress and mental engagement.
Yeah, chronic stress is just cognitive poison. It eats up so much mental bandwidth. So active stress management is essential.
Like the relaxation techniques, deep breathing, meditation, maybe just spending focused time outside in nature.
All excellent daily practices. But if the stress or anxiety or low mood feels more persistent, the sources specifically highlighted cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT.
Okay, tell us more about CBT in this context.
Well, CBT isn't just talk therapy. It's a structured approach that helps you identify and actually change the negative thinking patterns that fuel anxiety and depression.
So it helps free up the mental energy that's getting trapped by worry or low mood.
Exactly. It helps you reclaim those cognitive resources so you have more capacity for focus and memory.
Interesting. Okay, number 5, keeping the brain active.
Use it or lose it, right?
Yeah.
Like any muscle, the brain needs regular workouts to stay sharp and build resilience.
So not just passively consuming information, but actively engaging it.
Yes. Challenging it. The sources mentioned reading, doing puzzles, crosswords, Sudoku, that kind of thing. And importantly, learning a new skill.
Oh, like a new language
Nice.
or picking up an instrument.
Could be anything, really.
Yeah.
The key is the novelty and the challenge. That process of learning forces your brain to forge new connections, new neural pathways, which can help counteract that feeling of mental slowness.
Okay, keep it challenged. Strategy 6 sounds more fun. Stay social and connected.
Yeah, this one's huge, but often gets neglected when we're feeling foggy or down. Social interaction is a powerful buffer, both cognitively and emotionally.
How does talking to friends or joining a club help with brain fog?
Well, engaging socially boosts your mood. Your brain releases feel-good chemicals like oxytocin and dopamine. That helps fight the mood swings that can worsen the fog. Plus, conversation itself keeps your brain active and engaged.
Prevents isolation too, which is a known risk factor for cognitive decline generally, right?
Exactly. So prioritizing connection, making time for friends or community activities, it's actually a crucial part of mental self-care during this time.
Good reminder. Okay, finally, strategy 7. This one's the medical option.
Right. Considering hormone replacement therapy, HRT, for women whose symptoms are severe and not sufficiently helped by lifestyle changes, HRT is an option.
And the logic is straightforward. It replaces the estrogen that's been lost.
Exactly. And since we know estrogen is so critical for those key brain functions, blood flow, cell repair, neurotransmission, replacing it can, for some women, lead to significant improvements in memory, focus, and overall clarity.
But there's a big but here, isn't there?
A huge caveat. HRT is definitely not for everyone. It comes with its own set of potential risks and benefits that depend entirely on your personal health history, your family history, the type of HRT, the timing. It's complex.
So this isn't something to decide lightly based on a podcast.
Absolutely not. It requires a thorough, really frank conversation with your doctor to weigh your specific risks against the potential benefits for your symptoms. It's a very individual decision.
Okay, so summing this all up for you listening, what does this mean? We've seen menopausal brain fog is, yes, common, often incredibly frustrating.
But, and this is the hopeful part, it's generally a manageable physiological thing. It's driven by hormones, but often made worse by that multiplier effect of poor sleep and high stress.
The big takeaway really seems to be about agency. You have options.
Definitely. Whether you start with mastering that Mediterranean diet or commit to that daily 30-minute walk, or perhaps talk to your doctor about CBT or even HRT, the research is clear. Small, targeted steps can lead to really noticeable improvements in focus and clarity.
You don't just have to accept feeling mentally sluggish as the new normal.
Not at all.
And as we wrap up, let's circle back to that point about medical follow-up. It's crucial. Since the sources really hammered home the need to check for things like vitamin deficiencies, B12 especially, and thyroid issues alongside the hormone shifts, We know midlife can bring various changes.
Right. It's rarely just one thing.
So here's a final thought to ponder, building on that diagnostic idea. If declining estrogen is the main trigger, but other things can compound it, what other subtle midlife change, maybe physical or chemical, might be adding to your fog? And thinking about the conditions we mentioned, thyroid, B12, anemia, which one, if you had to check first for the potentially quickest clarity boost, would it be? Consider the ease of testing and the potential impact.
Yeah, think about which test might give you the biggest bang for your buck in terms of quick answers and potential treatment. Something to mull over on your next walk, perhaps.
Thanks for diving deep with us today.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.